Hello everyone. Today I will be showing you all the stress unit capacities of every stress generator. So firstly, we have the hand crank operating at 256 stress units with a 32 RPM. Next, after the hand crank, we have a little bit more automatic setups that involves water. We have vertical setups. We have setups that go against the water wheel, and we have setups that go with the water wheel. So just pay attention to the orientation that the scoops are in. So firstly, showing you off this soul sand spout with source blocks on this side and nothing on this side. If you do this type of configuration, you will get 256 stress units with 16 RPM. But if you don't have the source blocks of water, you just have this water in the corner, you will be generating 160 stress units with 10 RPM. Now, if you just have the water source block and you block it from ever going down the water wheel, you will still be able to generate 256 stress units at 16 RPM. Now, going back over here, we have a water wheel going against water, but still rotating. It still generates 96 stress units, the lowest out of all of these water wheels, with 16 RPM. Next, we have water in the corner, going 4 blocks and hitting this left side over here. It generates 128 stress units with 8 RPM. Starting from the corner again, going up and around to this point, we have 160 stress units at 10 RPM, kind of like this one. It's not the best because of its configuration. And finally, the best, worst water wheel configuration is this one at the very bottom. It goes around and hits over here, stops at the corner with 192 stress units at 12 RPM. Now, if you want to use your water wheels correctly, you should follow the way that it scoops up the water. So here we have 128 stress units, which is almost on par with the second configuration. So just this alone produces a lot of stress units. 8 RPM. At the corner, going around the water wheel, 192 stress units at 12 RPM. On around, this is much greater than this one, 256 stress units at 16 RPM. And finally, the best use out of your water wheel would be to place it on the ground, starting from the top, going around, ending on the right, would be this way at 320 stress units at 20 RPM. Next, after the hand crank, the water wheels, would be the windmill. Now, for a fully maximum stress unit windmill, generating this much stress units, you're going to need 2 stacks of sails, or 128 sails. And for this, you will need 2 stacks of sticks, a stack of wool, and a stack of andesite alloys. Now, this whole windmill generates 8,192 stress units, but has a similar speed to a water wheel like that at 16 RPM. Now, for this windmill alone, you can generate 25.6 times this maximum water wheel over here. That's a lot of power just for one windmill. It does require a little bit of space though, but if you were to set up a basic water wheel vertically or something like this with 256 stress units, then one windmill like this creates 32 times the basic stress, 32 times stress units than a water wheel. After your windmill setups, we have the boiler setups. And for a maximum boiler, you're going to need a 3x3x8 boiler tower, and that will be 72 fluid tanks for this boiler. Next, you will need 9 blaze burners, preferably at the max it could go. Use your lava cakes and set them to the second tier, not smoldering, not just normally blazing, but super blazing. And finally, you're going to need all these mechanical pumps, 12 to be precise. 12 mechanical pumps to be precise, and running 3072 stress units for the pumps. So make sure you use a little bit of that windmill power so your pumps could run. All you need is a little bit of water source, and 12 pumps pumping into the boiler. They're all at 256 stress units, so the water status is at its max. The size, again, is 3x3x8, 3 on the base, and 8 blocks tall, 72 fluid tanks. And as you can see, it generates 294,912 stress units for this one boiler alone, which is 36 times more stress units than one windmill back there. Now over here we have the steam engine working hard. It uses 16,384 stress units, meaning you could hook up 18 of these steam engines at this speed, just a normal speed, just coming off of the boiler. You could split it 18 ways. Now that we're done with the max types from hand cranks, water wheels, windmills, and boilers, for the end game, I would just like to show this off. So here, a boiler status that is passive, at a one size, one water, and one heat. Just getting water from here requires two mechanical pumps. It would be preferable to have a 28 RPM. You probably have this already. 28 RPM fixed controller. I don't know what it's called, but just send it to your pumps, your cogs and stuff. Make sure that your boiler is at least 4 blocks in fluid tanks, and you could generate 2,480 stress units. Much better than a water wheel. Slightly 1/4 worse than a windmill, but still a good amount of stress. Anyway, if you were to give this blaze burner a blaze cake or a lava cake, turn it into a blaze, you could generate, I think it would be twice as much stress units than a windmill. The same configuration, of course. One size, one water, still 2 mechanical pumps, so not that costly. Going to a boiler status of 2, adding 4 more fluid tanks, you can get double, and I think it doubles every time. Well, it doesn't, but still 32,768 stress units. I doubt you'll be using anything great. Windmills are just fine for doing such big projects, but if you need to like go industry size, then I think boilers and stuff are right for you. So just 2 blaze burners for level 2, 8 fluid tanks, and 4 mechanical pumps going into your fluid tank. Generates 32. A tier 3 or level 3 is 49,152 stress units. This requires 1 more pump at the exact same speed, exact same stress units, but this time you could use 3 blaze burners, and it just increments 1 for every level. So a turned off blaze is at 1, turned on blaze is at 2, and a super blaze is at I think it would be 3. So yes, coming back to here, if you just want to have 8 fluid tanks and you have 1 blaze burner available, you could set it up like this, 1 by 8, 8 blocks tall, and you could run 4 mechanical pumps into this, and it generates just the same as this. Any higher than this, you're gonna need more blaze burners, but how could you? It's just 1 per, instead of a 2x2 or a 3x3. So this is just the modest boiler for 1 blaze burner. So again, 1 blaze burner, 4 mechanical pumps, and 8 fluid tanks connected to water. It will generate 4 times the stress units of your max windmill over there, producing 32,768 stress units. So use these powers to your own advantage. Of course, you could just, I guess, stick with a hand crank, do measly things. Next, upgrade to water wheels, then go to the windmill generation. It's not that bad with all these materials. And finally, once you get a good copper mine going, or doing a lot of things with other mods, get a ton of copper. Well, it's not the most amount of copper that you actually need, but just get this amount of copper, just 12 measly mechanical pumps at using your windmill to power your boiler. But yeah, just generating that much power could set you off for life. But yeah, I think I'll call it. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see more videos, just randomly. But yeah, I think I'll call it there. See ya.